You know, back when I first started custom shoes, there was nobody that you could really go to. There was nobody that you could really ask your questions to, and there really wasn't that strong of a community built around custom sneakers. Our goal has always been to change that. I'm DeJesus, and this is Recreating Your Designs. So for hitting the 100K milestone here on YouTube, we wanted to go ahead and get all of you guys involved, so we left it up to you guys to submit in your own designs on a pair of all-white Jordan 1 mids, and the winning design that we picked out of nearly 200 entries was from OCD Custom. This pair was inspired by a Madagascar sunset moth, and rather than just giving away the design directly to the artist who created them, we wanted to go ahead and give everybody else a chance to win one of the designs also. So here is another one of her designs that we made up specifically for her, but this is the pair that we're going to be giving away in today's video. But now let's go ahead and break down how we actually went about taking all of these designs from digital media to real life. So whenever you're dealing with a design where you have a completely different sock liner and tongue color than the rest of the shoe, this is also commonly referred to as the guts of the shoe. I always like to knock that out first. Things can get pretty messy when you're really trying to paint inside of there, so just knock that out of the way, then you can mask it off and move on to the rest of your shoe. And so one thing I did here was mix in a little bit of silver into each of my paints. This is going to give all of them a little bit more of a metallic look, and since the actual insect has kind of like an iridescent feel to it, I thought that would be a really cool look on these. Then I of course had to hit all of these panels with some of our texture stencils, and I lightly sprayed a little bit of a silver vignette around each of these panels. Again, just something trying to play up that iridescent feel to these. This to me was one of the most exciting parts about this challenge of you're trying to take somebody else's design that they created digitally. This is something they created with a computer. You don't know the steps that they took, and you're trying to now go ahead and try to bring that to life. Try to actually recreate it with paint is a totally unique challenge. Now when it was time for us to move into our orange medial and toe box panels, this is when it was time for me to break out the paintbrush. This is really important when you already have a heavily airbrushed upper, because now with the paintbrush, I'm gonna really be able to get in behind each of those panels. This is something that I wouldn't be able to do if I were to just mask off all of these already pre-painted airbrush panels and try to go ahead and just airbrush everything orange. As soon as I saw these, I knew that they were the winner. It takes some classic color blocking from old school Jordan 1s and intertwines this insanely unique insect pattern onto it. After we have all of those panels completely painted a solid orange, this is when I was ready to mask off the rest of the upper. This way I could really easily achieve that dark orange to yellow gradient within those panels. Same thing as we did earlier with some of our other panels, a little bit of texture stencil action going on within some of these orange panels goes a long way and gives these a whole lot more life, in my opinion. I think one of the first things you notice when you look at this actual design is all of these blends and gradients going on within the upper. So really achieving those seamless clean fades was really going to go a long way in nailing this design. I think one of the biggest challenges for me was, since this is not my own original design, was really trying to replicate these as close as possible to not only the inspiration from the insect, but the actual design itself. And now it was time for what was absolutely going to be the most challenging part about this entire design, recreating all of those black spots within the moth. What really helps me when I'm trying to replicate a pattern such as this one, since I knew there was no way I was going to be able to create a stencil for this, I had to do it all by hand. I like to pull up a bunch of different images online of the actual pattern and just have those nearby, whether it be on a tablet screen, on your phone, and just constantly referencing them as you're going about doing all this hand painting. One of the things that just really makes this design pop right off the bat is how closely together we have some really warm color panels of this orange to yellow fade, which are right next to and up against a couple other panels that have a lot cooler tones of the blue to purple fade with all of the black moth spots on top of. Once we started to fill in some more black on the swoosh and a couple other panels, that's when this design really started to come to life. And then all we really had left was some of the dots on the orange panels. And the way that I like to go about doing these is with these little dotting tools that I have in a bunch of different sizes, and these make it super easy for you to lay down some really clean circles. And whenever you have a crazy pattern such as this one, it's really important, in my opinion, to make sure you go back, essentially cross all of your T's, dot all of your I's. In this case, making sure that all of these blacks actually extend all the way to the ends of each of their panels. And this is just what's really going to give it that factory look. So here on our other animal inspired pair, we have a wild combination of cheetah patterns and some pink zebra stripes. And I think the way that I actually went about doing these pink zebra stripes may be a little bit different than what you're guessing right now. So what I think you see when you take a closer look at the design itself on a lot of the panels is a very simple light pink to dark pink gradient along with some dark pink zebra stripes mixed in between. But rather than just laying a gradient down on the panels themselves, what I actually decided to do was just lay down the darker pink color all the way throughout all of the panels, cover those up with some zebra stripes, and then lay down my lighter pink on top of all of that. Now once we removed all of that vinyl, we have our darker pink zebra stripes laid underneath, and now what I decided to do was just go ahead and add what we could also call a vignette around all of these panels, just at the bottom though of that same darker pink. And that to me was one of the most exciting parts of this challenge, of taking somebody else's design that they created digitally, they created on a computer. You don't know the steps that they took to do it, but then actually trying to bring that to life and trying to figure out your own process, how you would do it with real paint. So in order to win this pair of Jordan 1s, all you need to do is make sure you're subscribed to the page, go ahead and give us a follow on Instagram at DeJesus Custom Footwear, and then comment one skill that you would like to learn in the year 2020. We will be announcing the winner on our Instagram next week, Wednesday, April 15th, so make sure you're following us on there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in that next video.